Assalamu alaikum, marhaban, karibu, barka da zuwa, እንኳን ደህና መጣችሁ. These are the 4 languages taught at the Africa Institute. Your Excellencies Sheikh Ahur Al-Qasimi, President of the African Institute, Global Studies University. Distinguished Professor Sal Hassan, Director of the African Institute, Global Studies University. Our warm welcome to honored guests, dear speakers who have traveled from near and far to join the Toni Morrison Fellowship Inauguration, which we are about to celebrate with a 2-day symposium, performance, and film screening here at the Africa Hall. Queen Toni Morrison, may her soul rest in peace, a Nobel Prize-winning author, was a literary trailblazer whose profound works redefined American literature and explored themes of identity, race, and human experience with unparalleled depth and insight. Her legacy resonates as a powerful voice for social justice and cultural understanding. The 2-day program inaugurates the Toni Morrison Senior Fellowship in African Diaspora, Literature and Cultural Studies, featuring captivating performances, film screenings, and insightful discussions. Now, I would like to invite to the podium Sheikh Ahur Al-Qasimi to deliver her welcoming remarks.
Thank you, Sir Rafael. Oops, it's getting dark. Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome. It's good to have you all here with us today. Before I introduce the program, I just want to say a few words. All of us have been struggling the last couple of months, thinking about our brothers and sisters in Palestine and in Sudan. I think it's very important that even though we're here to celebrate the life and legacy of Toni Morrison, we're also here coming together in a moment of solidarity and collaboration and community. So I would like to just take a moment to think about everybody in Sudan, in Palestine, in the Congo, in Kashmir, and many places of the many injustices that we're facing in this world. The project of the Africa Institute is built upon this reason. It started with a moment of pan-Arab, pan-African solidarities, so we continue to do so. So it's with great pleasure that you are part of us and a part of this community here. So welcome to the Africa Hall and the Africa Institute and the newly established Global Studies University. Today we've gathered to celebrate the inauguration of the Toni Morrison Senior Fellowship in African Diaspora Literature and Cultural Studies, one of the research fellowships offered at the Africa Institute. Over the next 2 days, we'll be engaging in a series of thought-provoking activities to commemorate the life and work of the renowned literary icon and scholar Toni Morrison. I'd like to take this opportunity to express our deepest appreciation to the distinguished participants who have agreed to join us and take part in this program. I'd like to thank Professors Margot Crawford from UPenn, Richie Richardson from Cornell University, Mansha Diawara from NYU, in addition to our inaugural Toni Morrison Senior Fellowship Professor Philatia Bolton, University of Akron, Ohio, for their participation in this important occasion. I'd like to extend a warm welcome to our keynote speaker, Professor Farah Jasmine Griffin from Columbia University, who will be joining us over Zoom. Above all, I would like to express our sincerest gratitude to Ford Morrison, the son of Toni Morrison, for his invaluable contribution and for giving us permission to name the fellowship after his late mother. We're very appreciative of this and hope to carry on her remarkable intellectual legacy, so thank you for your trust. Our 2-day symposium will include a keynote address by Professor Farah Jasmine Griffin, panel discussions with our esteemed guest scholars, and film screenings of 2 groundbreaking documentaries, The Foreigner's Home, which is produced by Ford and Ford Morrison, and the 2019 documentary examining Toni Morrison's life and works titled The Pieces I Am. And we're excited to announce that Al-Multaqa Chamber Orchestra will perform their own renditions of celebrated African American songs. We look forward to spending the next couple of days with you and hope you'll enjoy the presentations, films, and musical performances. And if you stay longer with us to visit the March meeting, the Architecture Triennale, and all the exhibitions we have ongoing at Sharjah Art Foundation. Without further ado, I invite the Director of the Africa Institute Global Studies University, Salah Hassan, to deliver his welcoming remarks.
Thank you so much, Hur, for your words and for your kind introduction. I must acknowledge and highlight the fact that Hur is the brain behind many initiatives that you have seen in Sharjah that made Sharjah really become at the forefront, actually the avant-garde in the field of arts and literature and culture and architecture and many initiatives. So thank you, Hur. And thank you also to the vision of your father. I mean, Africa has always been in his mind. For so many people who don't know, that he has so many initiatives in Africa, and he is also the one who organized, with a group of scholars from Sudan and from the Arab and the African world, a very famous conference of Afro-Arab Solidarities in 1976. And one of the recommendations of that conference was to establish this institute. So 40 years or so after that the vision has been realized. So thank you. So a warm welcome to all of you here at the Africa Hall and at the Africa Institute in Sharjah. Established in 2018, the Africa Institute in Sharjah, UAE, which is now part of what Hur mentioned, the recently established Global Studies University, is an interdisciplinary academic research institution dedicated to the study, research, and documentation of global Africa and its people, its cultures, its complex past, present, and future, and its manifold connections with the wider world. The Institute is conceived as a research-based think tank and a postgraduate studies institution which aims to train a new generation of critical thinkers in global African and African diaspora studies. This emphasis on the global Africa is the real impetus behind the choice of Toni Morrison namesake for the fellowship we intend to celebrate in this two-day symposium. As Toni Morrison herself asserted in her book, The Source of Self-Regard, a writer's life and work are not a gift to mankind, they are its necessity. A writer's life and work are not a gift to mankind, they are its necessity. For me, Toni Morrison was not only a brilliant novelist and a storyteller, she is also a critical theorist of the first order. From the bluest eyes to beloved, Toni Morrison turned her unapologetic gaze inward while being critical and mindful at the same time of the wide gaze. And in the process, she humanized and complicated the inner soul of African Americans, their agency and remarkable contribution to the idea of freedom as central to humanity. Moreover, and I quote also, that her non-fiction theoretical work complemented and complicated her storytelling with the most eloquent critical meditations on history, gender, race, and class in the context of the Black experience in America and the American experience as a whole. These include, and I just cite them for the benefit of those who wants to know, and I'm sure many of the people know and aware of this work, her book, Playing in the Dark, Whiteness in the Literary Imagination, her other book, The Source of Self-Regard, from which I just quoted the quote that I mentioned, The Origin of Others, Racing, Injustice, Engendering Power, essays on Anita Hill, Clarence Thomas, and the construction of social reality, in addition to many other essays. Such body of work will remain a source of inspiration for generations to come. It has already as expressed already in this kind of wisdom. I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to all our esteemed guests who have joined us today and to the speakers who will share expertise or their expertise during the panel and discussion. I wish to pay a special tribute, as Hur mentioned, to Mr. Ford Morrison for his consent to have his mother's name associated with this special senior fellowship in the field of African diaspora and literary and cultural studies. At the Institute, I wish to thank my colleagues, Professor Binyam Sisai Mendiso, Meg Arenberg, Surafol Wandimo, and most specifically our inaugural Toni Morrison Senior Fellow, Professor Philacia Bolton, the Associate Professor, as Hur mentioned, at Akron, Ohio, which is the birthplace, actually, of Toni Morrison. I'm also thankful to the entire team of the Africa Institute, whose effort have made this event possible. I start with the brilliant communication team, Megna Kalvani, Aisha Al-Hamadi, Ahmed Mustafa, Fatima Al-Marzoughi, and also I wish to extend the same to the IT team, Sharif, Vijay, and Syringe. All of them deserve special thanks and gratitude. In addition also to the copy editing team, Mustafa Adam and Alamin Osman, and for also all the logistics that have been made by Amal, or Miss Amal Al-Mulla. I want to thank also Muhandis Hassan and Muhandis Yunus from SAF for the tireless support they always lend us when we had this kind of event that require a sophisticated technical assistant. Most specifically, I want to extend my utmost gratitude to two people who have been with me from the beginning of the journey to establish the Africa Institute, Sat'an Al-Hassan and Sarah Majdi, who worked tirelessly and most gracefully to organize this symposium. Thanks so much, Sat'an and Sarah, for what you have been doing and continue to do on behalf of the Africa Institute and related activities. I must add here one of our most dedicated staff who has been with me from the beginning when we were only 3 people. That is Abdulaziz Shamshir, who has also joined from the beginning. I was alone actually at the time. Let me end with echoing the word of Toni Morrison's. A writer's life and work are not a gift to mankind, they are its necessity. Toni Morrison's life and work are the embodiment of such wisdom. Allow me now to introduce to you Al-Multagha Chamber Orchestra, which is composed mostly of exiled young musicians from Sudan who had to escape the current devastating war and who have visited before, actually, that's how we get to know them, the Africa Institute and perform under the name of a very well-known orchestra in this part of the world called Beit al-Oud, several times, even at several of our occasions last year. They are now operating as part of the Africa Institute as an Afro-Arab music school, which is open to everyone who wishes to learn a music or a musical instrument. I'm grateful to its leaders of the orchestra, or to the leader actually of the orchestra, Ustaz Ahmed Shamma, and to the leaders of Al-Multagha organization, that is Khalda Ibrahim and Razan Osman, and most specifically Mr. Ihab Dawood for his support and patronage of this project of Al-Multagha. So thank you.